Welcome back to the Average Dad 2 channel with your boy Anakin, and in today's video we're going to do a durability test and review on the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Here it is already. It might be a thin box, but this thing is heavy. I do like this presentation so far. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, there it is. So as per usual in the US, you only get a wire and paper. That's it. Actually, a lot of paper. Why is there that much? That's actually a lot more than I normally see. There's your SIM ejection tool. Wow. That moonstone looks amazing. And the crease isn't too bad yet. Yeah, this thing is pretty heavy, and they did make it thicker than last year's Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. So there's your speaker, microphone, Type-C, volume below the power button, which also duals as your fingerprint scanner. Another microphone, by the way. There's your other speaker, and there is your SIM card tray. Nothing on that side at all, and there it is. Let's do that first fold to see how good that new hinge is. Wow. It sounded really nice when I closed it, but goodness, this is like 2023 thickness of foldable phones, and there was that first fold with that crease getting a little worse. Everything's kind of matching that moonstone color with the operating system. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Fingerprint scanner. Yeah, it's fast enough, but I've seen faster. I wanted to point out something. Why does this camera app open this fast? Boom. You can even close out of it. Watch how fast. You're in. What? Speaking of those cameras, you get a 10.8 megapixel 5x telephoto, a 48 megapixel main sensor, and a 10.5x ultra wide. Alright, here's an audio and video test with the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. I think it looks pretty good, not too over sharpened. Let's go to the 1x, the 2x, and the 5x. Looking decent actually. The viewfinder makes it look really choppy, but I hope that doesn't come out. Here is a 0.5x using that ultra wide. Looks decent, but a little oversaturated in my opinion. Here's the 1x, which helps with the colors. Here is a 2x, a 3x, and then the 5x, which you can see brings a lot more detail because of that optical lens being 5 times zoom, and then a 20x. Inside the device, we have a 5015 milliamp hour battery with 30 watt wired charging and 15 watt wireless. Speaking of wireless, yeah, we finally have Qi 2 on the Google Pixel. This phone has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you get 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, or 1 terabyte of storage. You can either get this moonstone color, or you can get this jade green color, which really does look pretty good, but I'd prefer this moonstone color. Well, what I'd actually prefer is something from the Chinese market, which is where the really good foldable phones are. Maybe like that, or you know, like this. I don't know, maybe like this one also, but honestly, I'd prefer...
I can't feel my face. Took too much on geeking. I took too much on geeking.
And if you want any of these amazing foldable phones, go to the Average Dad Tech Store. The link is in the description. It's a great place to get any of these foldable phones, and for the best price possible. I just showed how to get built-in Gemini right there, listening to you, and all of that on the Chinese ROM device, so there's nothing you're really missing out compared to something like a Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Unlike last year, the exterior screen does not have insanely large bezels around the edge, so you actually get a decently sized display on both sides now. Both screens can get to 3000 nits of peak brightness, and only the inner screen is LTPO, so you won't have any variable refresh rate happening on this exterior display. There's a pixel density of 373 on both screens. I can actually notice that it's not that sharp compared to other phones. The hinge is gearless, and Google says that you can fold this bad boy up to 10 years. Also, this is the first foldable ever that is IP68 water and dust resistant, so you could technically say this is the most durable foldable phone in the world. So that means that it is waterproof. Guys, I don't do this that much, okay? I don't do this a lot. Let's get that hinge nice and open with some water in there too. Oh my gosh. There's actually a scratch right there, and I can't believe it, man. During the review, a scratch has happened. I don't know if this is before I even opened the box. Maybe it happened in the factory, but there is a scratch. But how does it fare up against my folding katana, my pocket katana here? Okay, those were some serious stabs, but yeah, it's holding up pretty good. Did pretty good actually, other than the antenna. I can see a small scratch. Alright, now the inner display. We all know that this would destroy it, so we're just going to use the fingernail and, see if that will do any permanent damage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can see right there, very obvious. That is some pretty bad damage to that screen. Does it still turn on? Yes, it does. Let's give it a few drops. They claim, it's a pretty durable, 10 year. You can fold it for 10 years. Dang. Open it, close it really hard. Oh my gosh. That was so hard. Okay. Now what everybody is waiting for, the bend test. We're going to see if this phone will allow me to open it the wrong way. Okay, here we go. Oh! Oh, wow. Oh, wow, okay. Yo, this thing is pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's too waterproof anymore, but yeah, that was actually not too bad. Now, with all that durability, how much does this thing weigh? 257 grams. For comparison, my Huawei Mate X-T weighs 308.5 grams. And man, there is not a huge difference in thickness on these two. This device costs $1,799, which is $200 less than the Z Fold 7. Here are the benchmark scores. You get a 2,276 on the single core and a 6,173 on the multi-core. With my Mate XT, I can just throw it up to that corner if I want to split screen and go into YouTube, and now you have it being split screen. To multitask or split screen with the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, you'll first have to open the phone up. I've noticed a lot of apps don't actually let you multitask with that outer display. Then you have to tap the app you want to split screen with, drag it up, then tap here and then choose split screen, and then you can choose out of these apps here or your app drawer, and then you can then split screen with those two apps. Also, I'm sure you've noticed this screen actually gets a lot of fingerprints, way more than I have ever experienced on a Fold. Something with the coating they have, it's just not that great. And I keep opening and closing this phone. The hinge feels nice, but the fingerprint scanner itself, I'm just noticing that's not the fastest. The fastest I've ever experienced was the Honor Magic V5. Like, that is instant. Try it again. Yeah, that is, the moment I tap is the moment it gets in. Let's see. Yeah, there is a slight delay. I'm selling this V5 if you want it. DM me on WhatsApp. This is a 1 terabyte, 16 gigabytes of RAM with that 6,100 milliamp hour battery. I'm selling it just so I can get a different color Honor Magic V5. But yeah, guys, DM me in the WhatsApp. I have the QR code displaying right now. Man, you can see just how thin the Honor Magic V5 is compared to the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. If you enjoyed this video, you would like the others on this channel, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My personal channel is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!